what, if anything, would you change about your relationship with your mother?
My mother's not going to like this, y'all, but I wish my mother accepted me for who I was. I think she wants me to be a certain way that I'm not. Hey, y'all, can I say this? Motherhood is hard. I mean, being an adult daughter can be equally challenging. And I know that my relationship with my mother has its highs and lows, but some people judge and some people understand our struggle. And I truly believe that part of understanding is experience and the generation that you come from. So today I've gathered a few of my friends and we're going to talk about being an adult daughter. And I've asked my friend Kalisha to help us facilitate today's session. So let's get into it. First, I want to introduce my friends that are here today, and Kalisha is going to help us facilitate. So I've got Chrisette here today, as well as Shantae and Kalisha, who is also with us. Kalisha, I'm going to give it over to you. Let's talk about what it's like being an adult daughter.
Okay, let's start with an easy question. Let's talk about how often you all communicate with your mother.
All right, well, I'm going to start. So for me, I talk to my I talk to my mother probably every other day, not every day. Every day wouldn't work, but we talk about every couple of days, and sometimes we need a timeout. But that's for me. We talk about any and everything, and depending upon the nature of the relationship, will determine how frequent that conversation happens. What about y'all?
I talk to my mom typically every day.
Every day?
Yeah. So I have my morning on the way to work, ride to work. I call my mom.
Oh,
So
that's
we
cute.
definitely talk
Okay.
often. Yeah.
That's cool.
Me too. I talk to my mother daily for the most part. And when we need our timeouts, it's something that doesn't have to be said. It's just like, okay, I need a break.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes multiple times a day, but I definitely talk to her just about every day.
Every day.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Y'all make me want to call my mama right now. I think it's been a couple of. It ain't nothing wrong, but I just ain't talked to her in a couple of days. But we got to understand it. But anyway, yeah. All right, that's what's up.
Okay, so next question. Do you think there are topics your mom didn't discuss with you growing up that would have helped you as an adult?
Yeah.
I'll go. Absolutely. My mom and dad married um when I was 12 years old. And there's some things that my mom could have discussed with me that would have helped me with my relationship with my dad. Just some things. I mean, I think you have to be careful what you share with your children. And I think my mom was definitely trying to protect me. But I definitely think just I don't know, a little heads up, or maybe even, hey, there's some things with your father. We'll discuss, at a when you're 18, or when you're at a better
Mm-hmm.
age, to be able to process everything. But it definitely would have helped me with my relationship with my father.
That's
Okay.
Understood.
good.
Yeah, my mother, she prided herself on being an open book, and
Mm.
she was oftentimes considered, or she tried to be a friend to me and my sister.
Mm.
Um, we wish she could have been a little heavier on the mothering side,
Mm.
Mm.
but she was definitely an open book. And I can think back to things that she shared with us then that I didn't fully understand at the time. But now it's just like, oh, this is what mom meant. Oh, that's what she was going through. Oh, just putting the pieces together to make it make sense in my adult life.
So your mom was kind of the opposite of mine. Like, my mom didn't share much, and your
Hmm.
mom was open book. So
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
My mom was maybe the hybrid, right? Like she told me things. She told me she shared a lot of things with me about being a woman. She told me about my body and all of those things. She was real, she's in the medical field. So she had no problem telling me about those things. She didn't teach me nothing about money. Uh, she tried what she could. I watched a lot of what she did, but she didn't teach me that piece. And I really wish she would have taught me more about going to college. Like my parents met in college and got married. She didn't tell me anything about her collegiate experience, right?
Mhm.
I wish I would have known that. I think I would have made different decisions had I known, like, okay, look for this or look for that. She pledged, she did different things that she didn't even talk to me about. Sorry. And I wish I would have known. I think I would have done some things a little different on the money front, on the college front, the relationship, but she prepared me to be a woman for sure. But there's some things I think, oh wow, I wish I would have known that earlier. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the grown-up relationship with your mother as it is right now. Do you think that she treats you like a child in certain areas?
I'll say my mom doesn't treat me like a child, but she has this expectation that I'm not clear on. Right? She was like, "Well, I'm your mother." And I'm like, "Okay, I thought we were just talking." Right? Because as I said, like my mom has this hybrid where she'll talk about anything. And then some things it's like, "Wait a minute, I'm your mom." And I'm like, "Okay, well." And so I think that's a challenge when you have that hybrid relationship. Where is the line? Where is the boundary? What did I say or what did I do? I'm not clear on what I said that offended you or I can't talk to you about. And so sometimes I'll call her first name and I know I shouldn't do that. And I'll be like, "I'm sorry." She was real, like, "Okay, mom." But I personally think that she doesn't treat me like a child, but she has her moments where like, "Don't talk to me like that. I didn't really say anything disrespectful. You just don't like what I said." But I didn't say anything disrespectful. I didn't say anything out of pocket. You just don't like it. And that's cool. You don't have to like it. I love you. So anyway, that's me. But
Okay.
If my
Ladies?
mom treat me like a child, I'm not sure she treats me like a child because she's pretty consistent with her approach. And when I say that, we actually just recently had a big, you know about it,
discussion.
we had a big
discussion.
discussion,
Right,
yeah.
right.
And my mom can be the type that'll be like, "We'll get over it." And I don't necessarily think that's her treating me like a child, or I just think that's her MO. So
That's her
a lot
communication
of
style.
yeah, because she's like that with her friends as well. So yeah, so no, I wouldn't say she treats me like a child, but she definitely has a way about it. It can come off that way to me, being her daughter. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, this is not okay. No, I'm not going to get over it. We're going to talk about it.
And I think that's hard, right? It's hard
Absolutely.
to like call your mom out on her stuff. Like I'm 40. So I got like, that's not cool. That's a boundary. Let's talk about it. And they be like, "I ain't gonna talk about it. You're my child." Like
I think in the moment I was feeling a way, but then I had to think about the way that she is.
Yeah.
So I had to give her a little grace. I'm like, you know what? It's not just me. Like, you're pretty much like this.
This is who you are.
This is who you are. So
And that's just a part of accepting. At some point, we have to accept who our parents are.
That's good.
But I'll say that no, I don't have that issue where my mother treats me anything less than who I am.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's
I love that.
That's just pretty much it.
That's it. That's all, right?
That's all. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Okay. So let's talk about challenges. Do you have challenges with your mom? And if you do you think it's due to expectation or communication?
Both.
Definitely have challenges. Just talked about mine, but definitely both for sure. Yeah. Because even if I communicate, like, "Hey, mom, like I feel this type of way," she's just listening. Like, "Oh, okay." It's not like, I'm like, so are we going to acknowledge that you were wrong? Or are you going to say? It's just like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm not going to get an apology.
Just accept
Just gotta let it go. Just let it go.
That's what it is. That's
So
what it is.
definitely both for sure.
Yeah, I think it's both. And I think sometimes my mom struggles with communicating what her expectation is. I think that as we've gotten older, our relationship has changed, right? So when I was a kid, obviously, and then I became an adult. And so how we communicate, what we communicate about is different. And so her expectation as the mother in that relationship, she doesn't always articulate it well. So I'm like, "What is it that you want? Like, what do you want?" And she don't like, "I just want you to do right." And I'm like, "I don't know what right is." So then
Like, right. What is your right?
we gonna take a time out
Might not
because
be
I
the
don't know.
same.
I don't know what you want. I don't know
Exactly.
what you want. So for me, I think it is expectation and communication because
Okay.
you're not telling me what you expect. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe it's not wrong. You just don't like it. So I think for us is definitely our challenges are both expectation and communication.
Definitely both.
Yeah.
Definitely both. Because as you grow, sometimes our growth surpasses that of where our mothers are.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow.
Mhm.
So whether it's the expectation or the communication, you have to meet that middle ground to whereas you're both comfortable with where you are in the relationship and individually. Um, but yeah, I definitely see both. And now, like I know I can call my mother out and say, no, I didn't say anything wrong.
Mhm.
Like you said, you just didn't like this.
Mhm.
And that's because you have an issue with this.
Mhm.
And your mother or anyone else, they have to be okay and willing to accept. If they're not in a place to accept and be accountable, then that's a bigger issue, right? So it's layers to it, and we can keep peeling it back. But it's definitely both. Just in short.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's good, right?
Okay. I think we kind of touched on boundaries a little bit, but does any of you want to elaborate on some of the boundaries that you have put in place with your mom recently?
I'll go. Boundaries with my mom. I don't entertain things that I feel my mother hasn't grown from and things that she can't quite be accountable for. So like I won't accept her crap. Like, Mom, that's not for me. I'm gonna let you keep that, and we're gonna take a time out. And she knows. Like now, she recognizes that this is me trying to minimalize the drama that may occur between that mother daughter relationship. I simply don't have room for it. So, Mom, I love you, but respectfully, I'm gonna push back and let you go. I'm gonna give you 2-day timeout.
Timeout.
Mom, your
Timeouts
timeout.
change the world. Like
Yeah.
I love you, I respect you. I need a break, and I just make it about me so she don't get offended. Like, what you mean that timeout? I ain't no kid. Like, okay, I need the timeout then. It's me. I'm the problem. I don't have a problem with it. I'll say I put boundaries up. I struggle with this in every relationship. Like, and I think we talked about this earlier. Like, if you haven't done it, you can't critique me on it, right? And so some things it's like, Mom, but you haven't done that. So your critique of it is limited in how much I'm going to accept it. Maybe I'm wrong for that, but if you ain't walked in these shoes, it's like, I hear you. I hear you because you know me to a point, but how much of that I'm going to accept is limited because you haven't done that. So I'll say that, and I know there are a lot of things that I've gone through that my mom hasn't gone through, and there's some things that we share, but that's where usually I'd be like, nope, 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 I'm not gonna take that one. But you can express it. I ain't receiving it. So yeah. No?
Do I have any
Okay.
boundaries?
Mama say what she
Alrighty.
want. And we're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
I guess I would come from the perspective of I'm married, so I definitely try to keep my mom like out of, my marriage. So I guess that's a boundary
That's
that I put
good.
up. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna call her and be like, girl, guess what? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, when I forgive, she gonna still be mad. Like you get
Yeah,
mad.
that's
So
real.
I'm like, nah. So I
That's
kind of
real.
keep that. I set that
That worked the
boundary.
opposite with me.
Mm.
Because I kept people out of my marriage, and when I got a divorce, like, what happened? What had happened? Like, he's a whole fool, and nobody knew. And so now I have to let you in because I kept you out, and I tried to protect his name, and I tried to da da da, and now I got to explain why I was dying inside, and now I have to explain it to everybody 15 different ways, right? But that doesn't mean that you let people into your marriage because I still think you protect your marriage. Hopefully everybody stay married. But when you don't, then it's like a whole lot of explaining to do, or not. Right? I ain't got to explain nothing to nobody but Jesus. So there's that.
There you go.
Anyway, we went somewhere else. We went somewhere else. That ain't nothing to do with. Yep. Okay.
That is okay because actually my next question was, do you discuss intimacy with your mother? Like, are you close enough to her? Are you comfortable enough with her to discuss that with her?
Absolutely not. To be completely honest, I've never in life had a conversation about sex with my mom. She did not sit me
Really?
down and give me the birds and the bees talk.
Okay.
So no,
Okay.
that would
Mm.
definitely be an uncomfortable
No,
conversation.
we ain't about to do that.
Like, yeah,
Not
you
today.
know, right? No,
No.
Okay.
but that's just me.
I have,
Mm.
and sometimes I have to be like, "All right, mom, like you doing too
See,
much."
and I don't want to hear that. Then she gonna have what she didn't did. No, no.
But we have that friendship type of relationship, and sometimes I have to remind her, like, "Okay, mom, it's too much."
It's too much. That's just
So I don't
hard.
want to always bring it back to being divorced, but I will tell you, I didn't when I was married. But now that I'm divorced, I done told my mom entirely too much that she probably don't want to know. She don't want to hear it. But I'm like, so yeah, it was like this when I was married, and it's like this when I'm not. She don't really want to know that. And she's like, really, Brittany? I'm like, so why didn't you tell me? So there are things that honestly I wish I would have known, but in my liberated self, I figure it out, and I might share some stuff with her, and I might not. But I do say things, and and that's the thing too, which we'll talk about on another conversation. But as she gets older, her memory is different. I'm like, no, that ain't what I said. You done mixed that up with something else. No, it's not like that. So then I'm like, well, maybe we don't need to talk about intimacy because you messing it
mixing
up.
it up.
She messing it up. I'm like, nah, dog, that ain't it. That ain't it. So, but yeah, we talk about it now, but that's because I don't care. Maybe when I get married again, if I get married again, I'll shut that down. I'll shut it down. I'll put that boundary up. Putting boundaries going up. Like, all right, no more. Like, doors closed. Doors closed. But today you get all of it, all the tea.
That's funny.
Anyway, sorry.
Right. Well, no, actually, so that leads us right into our next question, which is as your mother gets older, how do you manage the role reversal, especially if she's not receptive?
Yeah, I was just talking about this today. Sorry. Watching my mother change. Like I am absolutely seeing her. I love you, mom. I absolutely am seeing her get smaller and more frail and shorter and forgetting stuff. And I'm like, dog, that was a conversation we had yesterday. You don't remember. So it's like, okay, so what is this gonna look like in 5 years, in 10 years? And where you gonna live and who gonna take care of you? And like, you come stay with me. And she absolutely wants her independence. And I get it. Cause like who wants to say, hey, you can't drive no more? Like, I can drive. No, you can't. Because I watched my grandmother go through that, right? Going the wrong way on a one-way street and leaving her keys and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna let it get to that. So I think, I'm constantly thinking about it. I actually constantly talk to my mom about what do you want this to look like before you don't have a choice,
Mm.
right? Like, tell me what you want. And I think sometimes like nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to talk about what change looks like because it's uncomfortable. But you better tell me before you can't tell me, because then I get to decide, right? And you might not like my decision, or you might not like my brother's decision. So what is that? So it's interesting for me because I probably bring it up to her more than she wants because I see the change that she doesn't realize. So
Mm. Ladies?
Well, I tell my mother if she doesn't get it together, she's going to Shady Pines. I'm not. I'm not.
We
I
ain't
mean,
doing
I
Not dealing
love
with
my
the
mother to
shenanigans.
pieces. However, the things that you did not take care of on this earth when you had the time to do it, if
Mhm.
you didn't do it and you left it for me to clean up, and I feel like I've been cleaning up for a long time.
Yeah.
So, I love my mother to pieces, but Shady Pines.
Listen, it makes sense.
That's it.
It makes sense.
That's so funny. My mom is still going pretty strong, I would say. So I don't know if I've put a lot of thought into it. I did just lose my father 6 months ago. So definitely kind of thinking about, you know what I'm saying, she doesn't have him anymore. She's kind of like, I don't know if I'll ever get married again. So it's gonna be on me. I'm an only child, so definitely something I need to think about.
Yeah. And it's hard.
It is.
Mhm.
But she, like I said, she's going. She's super busy taking care of my grandfather and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just gonna be me and my mom
Figuring it out.
figuring it out.
Figuring it out.
So right
Yeah.
now she's all good.
That's good.
That's
Yeah,
good.
That's a
yeah.
good thing.
Okay. Um, so let's talk about how you bond with your mother. What is something that you and your mom do to, keep that mother daughter relationship something positive that you both enjoy?
For me, my mom and I both paint.
That's fun.
Painting is kind of my outlet. And so it's funny, when I was a kid, I hated my art, but I used to always get like awards and stuff like that for it. And so I kind of denied it for a while. I see my mom does art all the time. All of us in the family have something in our house from her. And so recently I started kind of getting back into it, and then I'll call her like while I'm in the middle of a piece, or what do you think about this, or I saw this piece, I want to kind of replicate a version thereof.
Mhm.
So that's something we can bond on. We also both like home interior design. We used to play this app. Her, me, and my aunt used to play home design. Don't want them to get no credit for it, but like we would play like, did you see this new one? And we would love, like, I put this plant, I put this rug, I did this, I did that. What you think? No, I changed the rug out. And so that was something that we could talk about without talking about life, without talking about difficult stuff, without, having something that we both like that's in common. My mom lives out of state. So for me, we don't get to, like, if we could, we would be at home good shopping all the time, or going somewhere shopping and looking at furniture that we don't need. So that's definitely something we kind of bond on. We don't get to do it as much. So virtually, it's always kind of like, look at this. And sometimes my mom does a lot. And so she'll put her, they done gave her an iPhone, for you iPhone users. I'm not an iPhone person, but she'll FaceTime me and watch me paint. And I'm like, okay, now you're doing too much. I'm not, but that's our only way to connect. So I'll watch her paint sometimes, or watch her, this one piece kind of develop as she goes through the days. And so it's kind of cool to watch that. So that's, for us, is art for sure.
I
That's
love
fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
My mom will join in and travel with my family.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, we'll travel. She has a cottage in Canada, so
Mm.
I'm not the best at going to Canada, but I do join her from time to time. So just traveling. We have she has a lot of sisters. I have a lot of aunts. So we'll do like brunches, and so like a lot of group activities.
I love your family for doing that. Like, y'all, like, all the, I'm not gonna call your last name, it's the same as mine, but I'm not gonna call it like the G girls brunch once a month.
Yes.
Y'all get
We
together
need to
and
get back
rotate.
to it, but
Yeah, I
yes,
love
we
that.
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's
So
super
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
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 My mother and I, we kind of speak the same language. Like we
Mhm.
can literally stay on the phone for hours for a good day.
Mhm.
I mean, on a good day. So, just the fact that I think we both share like a sixth sense. I see
Mhm.
it in my daughter as well. And we can just have these conversations that are ongoing. It's like, okay, we just got to stop here.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I live out of state from my parents, and I don't get to see her and do things in person as much as I would like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But we do cherish those conversations because they respect what I'm doing, why I do the things the way that I do it. Um, but yeah, I would love to be able to do something like that, travel with my mom and take trips and all that stuff. But
Kalisha traveled with me and my mom once. You remember that? I would tell a story.
Yeah,
You want to hear a story?
most
Here you
Story
go.
time.
definitely. Yeah.
My mom is the coolest person on the planet, and she's
Yes.
very tenderhearted, right?
Mhm.
But sometimes she don't make good decisions. So we in Puerto Rico, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Father. And they told her, we're gonna
Oh.
do this horseback ride
Mm-hmm.
on the beach. These are island horses. Island horses should
Mhm.
not allow their nose to touch the sand. So they're like, all right, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
go through the jungle, we're gonna do this, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
do that. But when we hit the beach, don't let your horse's nose touch the sand, because if they do, they're going to roll in the sand, which means you're gonna be on your ass. So my mom, okay, everybody got their rules. We going through, we having a good time. Everything is great, right? We get to the beach. She can't follow instructions. She's like, well, he just wanted a little water. And back then, I didn't have a cell phone. I laughed so hard. My mom was on the ground. I said, "They told you." She was like, How did you think it was gonna happen?" They told you, don't let the nose touch the sand. His nose touches sand. You
Yeah,
tell the story better than I, Kalisha. But
that's true.
that's the relationship of me. But I was like, that's what you get. And also
That's true.
probably telling of our relationship. But
Yeah.
she probably won't appreciate this story.
No, because she also says that she did not fall off, so she will not like this
We got
story.
pictures. There are receipts.
You get receipts.
We got receipts. You were on your ass in the sand on the beach. Yeah. But she's a sweet. She loves
Yeah.
animals. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you need to
yeah.
follow instructions. But yeah. So I ain't traveled with my mama since.
That's true. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
didn't think about
So it was
that.
a long time ago.
That was a long time.
It
That was
was.
a long time. I think about traveling with my mom. I don't know though. Yeah. We gonna try it.
We're gonna make that happen.
We gonna make
it.
that.
There you go.
Yes.
We gonna. Who coming with me though?
We're gonna make it happen.
Oh, we gonna make it
Gabby.
happen. Who?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gonna need a babysitter. I need a man. I need some alcohol. And my mama. Then we can make it happen because there are gonna be some essentials needed. Okay, sorry. But yeah, I think that's beautiful that you travel with your mom. I want to
And
travel
the
with my
auntie.
and
I love
auntie. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. We're gonna see what happens. We'll come back with another story.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
What else you
Um,
got for us?
well, let's talk about your mother raising you as an independent woman. I know that each one of you is independent. You take care of business. You do what you have to do. Do you think that that has interfered in any way with the way that you manage as a mother, as a wife, as a woman? That independence that she's put into you.
I would say my mom raised me to be independent, and I don't think it interfered in any way. I think if anything, it made me stronger. I know when to step back and not be overly independent, but definitely helped in my marriage, and because my mom was a single mom for 12 years, so
It's my favorite topic, single mom. I'll say I don't think it hurt. I don't think it hurt. I think if anything, it helped.
Yeah, for sure.
I think, my mom was a single mom. My parents got divorced really young, and it taught me how to figure it out. I got that figure it out spirit because I had to watch that.
Yeah.
And, when my ex-husband was gone for months at a time, I had to figure it out. When I'm single now as a divorced woman, I got to figure it out. And I'm grateful that I had a chance to see that. But it doesn't mean I can't be soft and submit when I need to be soft and submit.
Exactly.
Now, if you ain't got nothing to submit to,
Well, there you go. That part.
then that's a different story. But if if I could respect you and I could submit to you, I could do both. I can, just the same way we code switch at work, I can submit and I can lead as I need to. So
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, my parents are still married. So my father, he took care of my mother, and my father instilled the independent thing with me and my sister.
Okay.
Like made sure that we, make sure you know how to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And that's
That's good.
Good, yeah.
To get it
Yeah.
from the male
to
perspective.
get it from the male
Mhm.
perspective. Like I've never felt like I needed a man, but I've always, of course, you kind of want that partnership.
Sure.
But I'm totally okay with doing it on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that.
That's
love
good.
that. That's good stuff.
Okay. Well, I have one more question for you ladies, and it is what, if anything, would you change about your relationship with your mother?
My mother's not gonna like this, y'all, but I wish my mother accepted me for who I was. I think she wants me to be a certain way that I'm not. I know she loves me. She's proud of me. She boasts about me, but there's something that she wants me to be that I'm not. And that's okay. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
always like, nope, this is who I am. I love you, but this is who I am. So I think that I would change that. She might argue that point, but most of our rub is because she wants me to be something different. And
Has she articulated that, or is that your
that's
interpretation
my
of what?
interpretation.
Okay.
That's my interpretation
I
because
was
I
gonna
can't
say,
figure
yeah.
when we do, sometimes we get along great and sometimes we don't. And usually in my interpretation of the rub is because you want me to do something that's just not the core of who I am.
Mhm.
Or you have these expectations unarticulated that I just don't agree with because of that's just not, or it's just not real or it's not true or something made up. And so I'm like, no, this is who I am. I love you. I respect you. But no, not so much. But she hasn't said that. I say.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know. I don't.
I wish I had more time with my mother in more of the mothering phase. Like I wish that she was able to take the lead a bit more.
Mhm.
Um but in the end I figured it out. We're okay. But yeah, I wish I could have more time with her in that leading role as my mother as opposed to a friend.
Hmm. Okay.
I think with my mom, I mentioned that she travels with my family sometimes and with my aunts and all of that. I think we probably could use maybe one-on-one time. Like you say, you paint with your mom. We don't necessarily have a thing. Like,
Mhm.
oh, we go get our nails done or we go get pedicures.
Yeah.
So maybe I would change that part. Like, because when the kids come, now it's all about the kids or, she's doing whatever she's doing. So maybe incorporating some like time for just us to do,
Mhm.
just her and I.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
I'm really just getting a thing myself, I don't.
Hey, we are. It's hard though, right? When you're a
Yeah.
mom and
Yeah.
a wife and you got a job, it's like finding space for everything.
Mhm.
And then people are like, you got a hobby, especially when you date now. Do I have a hobby?
You're right.
I eat. I like restaurants. Like,
Grocery
no, I gotta get a
shopping.
hobby. Like, oh yeah, I do like painting. Let me start painting again.
Mhm.
So trying
Yeah.
to find it takes a minute sometimes when
Yeah. It took
and
me a minute for sure.
yeah, yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
Okay. Well, that's all I have for you, ladies. Thank you so much for answering the questions, for entertaining the conversation. And Brittany, I'm going to kick it back to you.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining. Can I say this? I'm going to leave y'all with a question. So, either whether you're a woman or a man, you have a mom. And so I leave you with the question of what would you do different in your relationship with your mother to make it better? Or what would you change about your relationship with your mother to make it better? So hopefully that question gives you something to think about, maybe start a conversation. And so hopefully you guys will join us next time on Can I Say This? We'll have more topics and more to talk about. Have a good one.